Tonight on a slightly delayed Monday night chill stream, uh, the federal government engages in some dominance displays. Uh, Delivering boxes just is not as easy as it looks. It's not as easy as I make it look. And 110 years after the Federal Reserve, is there finally going to be some competition? The stage has been set. See you in 2 minutes. All right, we're back. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the show. As I mentioned in the intro, the life of a box driver, not always what it's cracked up to be. Thursday of last week, no work. It was Thanksgiving, not a surprise there. Friday, nothing. Saturday, nothing. Sunday, I went to Virginia, and then today they called me. Even though it was my day off, they said, "Do you want to go to Virginia again?" And I said, "Yes." I thought I would get back sooner than I did. I just got back a little while ago. Things did not, the timing didn't work out the way I had hoped, but it gave me a lot of time to sit in traffic and to upload stuff for tonight's exciting show. The Secrets of Unity, one weird trick. Tons of stuff going on, and if I don't cover this stuff, every week when I load it up on my phone, I'll forget about it. And let's be honest, I forget about it half the time anyway. But man, is there a ton of stuff going on. That is, things are about to, I think, start getting very exciting. And so let's just come straight out with it. This is the biggest news. When I talked about the U.S. federal government doing, dominance displays, they're flexing the current ceasefire in the Middle East. The White House is trying to take credit for it because they're absolutely terrified that they're going to lose the election because everyone is pushing back so fucking hard against their little fucking behavior and their spin. They don't know what the fuck to do. But on that kind of taking people's attention largely, this was overlooked, and I don't know how I overlooked this. I don't know how I missed this. This kind of snuck in under the radar. I'm going to throw this up, the screen share up real quick. This guy right here, this Chinese guy, is CZ, or Changpeng Zhao. He was the CEO of Binance, the largest shitcoin casino, and I say CIA front organization on the planet Earth for sending crypto to various different unsavory actors. around the globe. And as you can see, it says Binance users pulled more than $1 billion from the exchange after CEO leaves and pleads guilty. So Changpeng Zhao, who lives in Dubai, where there's no extradition, somehow was in the United States, pled guilty to various federal crimes, agreed to pay $4 billion in fines, and is about to face like up to 10 years in prison. And all of this somehow happened without anyone actually, um, you know, figuring out how. He just decided to show up, plead guilty, pay $4 billion in fines, and give up his company, even though he specifically lived in Dubai for I don't know, more than a decade, because it had it's the one country that has no extradition treaties with anyone else. I say this guy's a front man for a spook shop, and that is my conviction. I don't have any evidence to prove that, but that's just what I think. And the reason why this is a flex by the federal government is they have cleaned up crypto. They have cleaned up the wild, wild west. The sheriff has come to town, and they put Sam Bankman-Fried in prison, and now this guy pled out. And then the U.S. federal government has displayed its dominance over the world of cryptocurrency around the globe, that no one will escape our whatever fucking whatever bullshit. And it's safe now to put your money in there. Of course, it's not safe. Shitcoins are shitcoins, and Bitcoin is the only thing you should be saving your money in. But people need reassurance and comfort from their government, and when they get it, they begin to act. Even though the government oftentimes does not admit how wrong it is. By the way, tonight, people might find this unusual. This is actually this bottle of, where is it? This is actually from the Sunoco gas station in Dulles, Virginia. They do sell wine in the gas station, so this is gas station Pinot Grigio. That's the type of life I lead. I think I also had dinner there, which was fucking terrible turkey and ham sandwich and a bag of chips. But that's just the exciting life of a box driver. What do I got? I got so much stuff. I got to figure out what I got up here. What is this thing? Yeah, here's what the federal government doesn't want you to know. U.S. Army having a hard time recruiting. Now it's asking its soldiers it dismissed for refusing the COVID-19 vax to come back. This thing is about as hollowed out as hollowed out could be. I don't, the all black, all female, all transgender infantry battalions that they think are going to take down the Persian Empire, not quite working out the way they had planned. And they're like, "Excuse me, white guys, could you please come back?" Even the demented whatever anti-vaxxers, right? The ones that they mock all the time. But there's so much bizarro shit going on. Here's one. Where was this? I got some Elon Musk shit. I love to beat up on fucking Elon Musk. Oh, that's later. Take that off. This is the Elon Musk one. Yeah, Elon Musk visits site of Hamas attacks in Israel. So what is the point of that? Like, how could that possibly fucking matter to anyone or anything? Like, is he going to tweet about it? Is he going to be tweeting for peace? What is the fucking point of that? This is Bloomberg Television. They put it up yesterday. Like, this whole idea of like, I'm going to a war zone. I'm going to go visit a war zone. I don't really think if you have celebrities and CEOs and high profile people flying in and doing photo ops, I don't really think it's a war in the classic sense, right? What do I got here? I'm just running through stuff. Here's another reality of that we're living in. But this fucking aging boomer will die soon. Warren Buffett joked he'd be eating Thanksgiving dinner at McDonald's if the U.S. government didn't bail out the banks in 2008. The 2008 bank bailout was the trigger for the creation of Bitcoin. And Warren Buffett is what, the third richest man in America or something like that. The cantillionaires, those closest to the money printer, occasionally actually admit that it's the money printer that keeps them afloat, because he would be broke. If he was not constantly bailed out, he would be broke. This is the point that Bitcoiners make over and over again. We live in a fiat Ponzi scheme, and it's eventually going to collapse. I don't know when it's going to collapse, but it will eventually collapse. Everyone everywhere around the world gets it, including, and I covered this in the past, this is an article from Forbes. Inside the crypto kingdom, Bhutan built a Bitcoin mine on the site of its failed education city. So the city of Bhutan, like, oh, we're going to get everyone's going to get a college degree, and that's going to fix the economy. Yeah, well, that shit didn't fucking work. Getting a college degree and being unable to solve real world problems still leaves you super broke. They probably don't have the same student debt as Americans have, but they have just as many useless degrees on the top of the world. And the government decided, you know what? Let's fucking mine Bitcoin instead. You know what? Let's just fucking mine Bitcoin instead. And to stay on this, let's go with this. I just showed this before. There's an advisor to the government of El Salvador, a Chinese dude named Samson Mao, not like Mao Zedong Mao, it's M-O-W Mao, but he's an American chink, a proper, a Stars and Stripes chopstick jockey, who is an advisor to the El Salvador government. But apparently the nation of Argentina, where our man Javier Milei recently won election, is planning on adopting Bitcoin. So this is going to happen, I don't know, sooner or later, the first half of next year. I don't know, but I don't know, but it's coming, right? It's absolutely coming. What do we got? What's up? I got some videos here. I'm trying to think of which ones I want to show first. I'm trying not to be negative, but it's impossible to avoid what's going on. In the God Bless the Irish column, I got a 1 minute video I meant to show last week, but everywhere they go, I think, if whether it's the limo driver in their fucking limo, or it's the barista at Starbucks, which has no line because nobody goes to Starbucks anymore, or anytime they turn on the television or anyone they talk to, this is what a lot of these fucking these central banker puppets are hearing these days.
How many civilians are we allowed to watch die? Is it defenseless people getting pummeled from the air by one of the most sophisticated and powerful militaries on this planet? They have occupied Palestinian land in contravention of international law. They have blockaded Palestinian territory in contravention of international law. They have built and enlarged settlements in contravention of international law, enforced an apartheid system that strips Palestinians of the most basic civic and human rights. They have also targeted and killed and injured civilians on a mass scale for decades. And the response of the Western world at this time is what? Israel has a right to defend itself. Well, what exactly does that mean? Is that they can cut off food, that they can cut off the power, that they can cut off water, that they can enforce the displacement of over 1 million citizens in what has been described by NGOs and United Nations reps on the ground as an open-air prison.
Man, the Irish, when they get a full head of steam going, they get quite a full head of steam going. So good on him, the Irish bro, for coming up with that. What is this? And this, how desperate are they? I think they're pretty desperate because I saw this video and somebody was this goes into the shaking my damn head or SNDH or SMH file. This is how desperate they are to pump up to maintain the facade that they're in control and that you are losing when you are not in fact losing, you're winning.
Oh, like, right?
So they painted an entire fucking New York City subway train with the fucking Starbucks fucking logo. Okay, you know, like I don't know how long that took or how much money that fucking cost. That's one of the older trains. That's not one of the newer trains, but it's an older train, and they are so desperate to try and control what you think and say, and it's not working at fucking all. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a good thing. I had some other stuff. Where was the thing? I had some other stuff. What am I looking at? What am I looking at? Although not everyone who, what's his name? That guy Andrew Tate, like I said, he's supposed to be like the MMA version of Jordan Peterson or something like that. He is all over the fucking media, and we all know there's no such thing as organic fame or organic wealth. And I saw, as a matter of fact, I saw before I show this clip, I saw there was a video popped up on my Instagram of Tate sitting on a private jet, right? And there's a little table there, and there's a bunch of fried chicken on it. And he's saying, "Oh, my flight got delayed, so we got fried chicken." Listen to me, that doesn't fucking happen at FBOs. At FBOs, fixed base of operations, your flight really doesn't get delayed that long, and they're not delivering KFC to the private jet. You know, that was as fucking phony as phony could fucking be. But Tate is a fucking con man, right? I mean, there's him yelling. This video of him yelling at Piers Morgan and stuff over the Gaza thing, and and he's shouting down Piers Morgan. But so fucking what? You're shouting down some media puppet, some old fucking British fucking hack fucking boomer. So what? You might as well be fucking shouting at the clouds. But I think they look at Tate and say, well, he represents a certain demographic, and they're angry and upset, and let's use him as a pressure release valve. Let's have him yell at an older guy, Piers Morgan, who's gonna lose the argument to him or something like that on video, and that hopefully will diffuse people's anger, people's ire. But that's not going to happen. That is absolutely not going to happen. Judas Fly Chai, the base Persian mission guy. Welcome to the show, Mr. Fly Chai. As you know, as you can see, I'm starting late because I have to work. Unlike the wealthy people of Persia, I actually have to perform various different labors in order to mine fiat, so I can turn that fiat into Bitcoin. But nonetheless, I have a commitment. This is my big hobby right now. I'm going to do a show. So even though I'm late, and even though it's probably of a lower standard than my usual, not such a great standard show, still we're going to put it. We're going to put on a happy face, and we're going to drive forward with this. But Andrew Tate, you have to remember, no matter what the fuck he says, is a front man for shitcoiners. Here's the reason why I would fucking throw Andrew Tate in front of that subway train I just showed you.
It's amazing to me. And there's people here sitting and go, oh, crypto will save me. No, it won't. Because for crypto to save you, you need to already have a bunch of money. This is what you don't understand. All this time you've been jerking off. You haven't even managed to build up 1,000 Bitcoin. If you have less than 1,000 Bitcoin, who cares if it goes up or down?
$25 million.
It doesn't matter if it goes up or down. It doesn't matter if it's 29K or 35K. You are still broke. 29K or 100K, you're still broke. 100K is nothing. 100K is a flight. One flight. Probably 2 carbon credits. 100K is 2 carbon credits. Whether they get you a hot dog, that's it. You need unlimited sums of money. You have to get your act together. And the fact that they won't invest $49 in themselves so they at least get to follow and never make a mistake and never lose any money and win every pump. I've got proof here. They've given me endless screenshots of us winning every single crypto pump. Let me show that if you're inside the real world, all we do is win. Here, watch this. We have proof. If you want to make money on crypto, invest $49 and never make a mistake. We'll give you 100x. We'll tell you when to buy and sell. We'll tell you when to long and short. We'll tell you how to escape. Do you want carbon credits or not? I do.
So, Andrew Tate, shitcoiner. I've said that you can't let Bitcoin come in entirely by itself. They have to bring the shitcoins with it, because if all of the capital that's currently sitting on the sidelines or is looking for an escape from bonds which pay 3% when the official inflation rate is 5%, if it all runs to Bitcoin, then what do the con artists get? What did the hustlers and the con men get? So these thieves, who are not government level thieves, but they're still thieves, have to get their shit coins through. Ethereum has to somehow come through, even though it doesn't legally meet the definition of a commodity. But whatever, they've got to bring this through, and you're going to need guys, influencers like Tate, to convince, whatever, some kid flipping burgers in fucking McGenocide burger joint or whatever, some Uber driver, instead of saving his money in Bitcoin, which is going to work out for him over the long term, to try and get rich quick. Because if you don't already have 1,000 Bitcoins, that's what, $37 million fucking dollars? Do you know how many people on the planet Earth have $37 million? It's probably less than 50 people on the entire fucking planet. So, he's talking fast, blah, 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 and he's everywhere. And like I said, there's no organic fame. There's no organic wealth. There are bad people behind him. He's a bad actor. I don't care if he yells at Piers Morgan over Gaza or not. You have to keep in mind that this guy is there to lead you down the wrong path. Judas Fly Chai, back in the chat. Judas Fly Chai, made an appearance on Duvid's Weekend Review. Wow, very nice. Look at that, becoming famous. I wonder how big Judas is Mr. Duvid's Rebbe, Duvid. Right? I think it's kind of big, right? Isn't it? Isn't he relatively large channel? Being the high-powered intellectual who puts all the books behind it to make him look smart. You know what I mean? Make me look smart. Put all the books behind me. But there's really, there's not much of this going on. What is this? What the fuck am I doing? I'm trying to figure out what I put these little notes in the videos. I don't remember what this is. All right, let me just hit the play button. Wait a minute, we got Judas in the chat again. 2,000 subs. Wow, that's pretty good. What is his average number of views? You might have like 2,000 subscribers, but only like, if you're only getting 500 views, you're only getting like 25% of your actual subscribers. Some people just have subscriptions they don't unsubscribe from. So I'd be curious what his average view count on each video is. Yeah, I don't know. No, you wouldn't look at it. You wouldn't look at it because you're not Judas Fly Chai. As much as you are a participant in this, and I welcome you here, glad to have you. As a content creator, and I consider myself a content creator, although not a particularly successful one, but still, you start looking at these different metrics. Like I said, I tell people like smash up the like button. It fucks with the algorithm. And because of that, I get like no feedback from any platform at all. Like this, if I go to Instagram and I open my notifications, I see like 12 notifications. People like this or respond to this and that, but nothing shows up on my screen because I'm on the list of do not give dopamine rush to this person who says, who does anti-Semitisms and racisms, and he does homophobias every week on the internet, even though I have a fucking, what's my audience? 65 people, right? 65 subscribers. I maybe get a third of that in terms of views every week. But So just wondering what the engagement level is, right? Does the overall and some of those are bots too. You got to remember some of those are bots. Everybody gets followed by bots, and so you got to keep that in mind. We're not nearly as popular as we think we are. And when I show you people like Tate specifically, this guy's pushed. The algorithm just doesn't choose to show you this. I get like even when I was like I said, I was uploading this stuff on the highway up and back to Virginia, or down and back to Virginia. I when I'm looking on Instagram, I would get like scrolling. I'm sitting in traffic. There was 2 fucking massive accidents south of exit 11. Anyway, I'm scrolling, and just sitting there in traffic, and there were so many advertisements for THC gummies, which I'm sure you are familiar with, Mr. Flatchai. THC gummies and microdose mushroom shit, like this stuff like that. Literally the least fucking. I am the last person in the world you would want to advertise that to, but advertisement after advertisement after advertisement after advertisement, and that's on my phone, not including all of the billboards and all of the other advertisements that I see as I roll up and down Highway 95. So like this constant bombardment, they want you stoned out of your fucking mind. They want your brain working at a suboptimal level, and they tell you it's good for you, but it is in fact not good for you, because we need our brains to solve problems. Now let me see. I don't know what the fuck. What is it? What the fuck did I'm trying to figure out. I'm looking at this video I got. It's a 44-second video. I don't know. Oh, that's right. Okay, yeah. In terms of talk about con artists and people deceiving you as to what the truth is. They always tell you that things that are plentiful are scarce. And speaking of Rebbe Duvid in Detroit, this is a video right on the money.
Goldman Sachs has collected $5 billion over the past 3 years for simply storing aluminum.
They just move it around their warehouse, literally on forklifts, and then they charge a storage fee on top of that. So that's how they're making their $5 billion.
Well, a New York Times investigation has discovered that Goldman Sachs is creating an artificial shortage of aluminum by buying warehouses that store the commodity and then delaying the shipping process up to 16 months.
It doesn't get much further from Wall Street than this, the east side of Detroit, and this aluminum warehouse. Inside of here, aluminum is stored for customers who need it. The longer it sits here, the more they pay, the more we pay for the end price of the good.
So not just your aluminum foil, your drink cans, everything that's made of aluminum, which is a super important industrial metal, and it's not a precious metal. It's not gold and silver. These people are looking to extract a profit from doing nothing. They're not even giving you the commodity that you need. They're just moving it from this side of the warehouse to that side of the warehouse. So warehouses in Detroit being bought by investment houses, by Goldman Sachs, the largest investment house on Wall Street, so they can play games with fucking aluminum. And you know what? There's no way to stop this. I consistently mock the monarchy people. Oh, when will this guy with the fucking $3 billion hat fix everything for us? Or, oh, please, somebody just reincarnate Hitler. If we could find one of his fingernail scrapings in the forest of Bavaria and reanimate him from his from a fingernail clipping that fell out of his car in 1938 or something like that. None of that's going to happen, right? If you live a life where you can sort of engage in this fantasy of coping, right? These coping fantasies, and they work for you. Well, you probably shouldn't be on this channel, because I'm not going to be very kind to you. But if you, and everyone, listen, I understand the urge to think that way, but at the end of the day, we're all adults, and you have to do what is best for you, and that is based on reality. And fingers crossed that somebody comes out of the blue to fix this. That's just not how it works. That just isn't how it works. And the people who make the best arguments are people like us now, Bitcoiners, and with specifically make the absolute best fucking arguments. And we fucking destroy remember, like a year and a half ago, Greenpeace was saying the Bitcoin's going to boil the ocean. Now that BlackRock's behind Bitcoin and all these big companies are behind Bitcoin, all of a sudden it's not boiling the ocean anymore. Now all of a sudden it's like, wow, isn't it great? They're using hydroelectric power in Paraguay to mine Bitcoin. STFU James, what do I think of Javier Milei? I have very high hopes for Senor El Presidente Javier Milei. He seems to be a legit guy, and I really hope he gets to do some stuff. You got here a touch late. There is, I'll re-show it. I'll show it again because it's just a screen share. It's just a little screen share. Guy named Samson Mao, not Mao like Mao Zedong, M-O-W Mao. Samson Mao, who is an American, a Chinese American, a chopstick American, I should say. I think from Texas, is an official advisor to the El Salvador government. One of a few Bitcoin advisors they have, and apparently he has been in some sort of contact with the Argentine government about Argentina adopting Bitcoin as legal tender, because the reality is, like, you can't just do this. A country just can't do this. Big companies can't do this. The reason why now, the end of 2023, is a really exciting time is because the stage is set. SBF is in jail. CZ has fucking pled guilty and may go to fucking jail and is paying $4 billion in fines. And the stage is being set for an enormous amount of the existing wealth that is in a that is in a corrupt system to exit to a better system. And what's exactly going to happen, I don't know. I've said it before in the past. Like I could put all of my money on one of these, right? I have a couple of these devices. I could put my life savings on one of those, and that's that. But if you're General Motors, or if you're a pension fund, or you're a labor union and you have all the fucking labor union dues, what are you just going to give the CEO one of these, tell him, here, take it home and don't let nobody steal it? Like, you'll never see that fucking money again. There has to be a way for the existing money to escape this current system, which is a rotten system. And the people at the top know it, right? When this guy, right, when Warren Buffett says, if it wasn't for government bailouts, he'd be broke, they know that. And not everybody, listen, the list of who's going to get bailout money is actually pretty short. And it isn't going to be you, right? It just is not going to be you. So a lot of people who've been hearing about this are like, okay, they're looking for some kind of exit. They're looking for, like, how the fuck do I get out of this? Is Bitcoin going to be that thing for them? Yes, it probably will be. How soon everyone will figure it out, or what's going to happen 2024, I don't know. Like I said, the White House wants to take credit for a ceasefire in the Middle East because they want to be seen as peacemakers, and they're going to need to open up the economy, like make it fucking red hot for 2024. Like, everything needs to fucking boom so that that Team Biden gets reelected. You know what I mean? And as soon as they get reelected, everybody that was there in the first 4 years will bail out. And then when the crash comes, they won't be there. You know what I mean? There'll be a different crew that jump in the second term, and they'll end up getting all the egg on their face. But this is where we are right now, right? This is the actual commissioner of the SEC, Hester, or whatever her name is. There is no reason, right, for the Securities and Exchange Commission to stand in the way of a Bitcoin ETF. This was like only a couple of weeks ago. So, and you can see she's a dorky broad, and I'm sure she understands all the issues. But there's no legitimate reason, but there are reasons behind the scenes, things that are not obvious, right? Things that are just not obvious that only we talk about, right? People want to talk about, oh, you should go, fight the fucking elites with, I don't know, some stupid fucking ideology and end up in prison like the January 6th fucking guys or that kid in fucking Charlottesville or whatever. Like, no, you're a stupid cunt and everyone hates you and no one's going to listen to you. If you tell people, start with this one thing, don't get robbed. Do not allow yourself, your children, your grandchildren to be robbed, okay, by a corrupt financial system. Now you've got everybody's fucking ear, whether they've got $5 or they've got $5 million. And this argument percolates everywhere, and even these fucking controlled opposition outlets like Joe Rogan. I got a 1-minute clip from some dude that's on Joe Rogan, who you would think this dude was fucking a subscriber to this show. Here, check this out.
When you have a fiat currency system and you go off of any type of gold standard or anything that kind of limits the government's ability to just print as much money out of thin air as they want to, you get this thing where we live in a cycle of constant inflation. And this is something that people don't put that much thought into. The natural tendency in a society that's developing, the natural pressure is for things to get cheaper. Because if you just think about it, right, like you get more efficient at making them. Like if you just hold your dollars, you're just losing money actively. So you got to be chasing interest. In order to just not lose money, you have to be chasing an investment. You know what I mean? You have to be like gambling on something. Why would you say, no, you shouldn't be working and saving a little bit for your retirement? What you should be doing is gambling. You should always be gambling your money constantly. Isn't that sound financial advice? Gamble, and gamble on something that you don't understand.
Right. And you've done no research on.
Yeah. Trust someone who works on Wall Street.
So that is a dumbed down version of the argument that a man named Jeff Booth, who's a hardcore Bitcoin guy, author of The Price of Tomorrow, that is a dumbed down version of Jeff Booth's book. And what Jeff Booth has said, and if you think this through, Judas Flychai, you have a smartphone. The calculator function on your smartphone is free. You don't pay for it. This is an example that Jeff Booth uses because everyone has a calculator on their smartphone. There was a time when I was a teenager where you would have to go buy adding machines at office supply stores, right? There were adding machines with rolls of paper on it. The really good ones had like a little roll of paper, and you could get a little electronic adding machine, and they had various different ones. And then the first handheld calculators by Texas Instruments in like the mid 1970s. Oh man, that was fucking, it was amazing, and then there were scientific calculators and this and that. And now all that shit's for fucking free because it got cheaper. It was a new thing. It was expensive, shiny, and rare. And then somebody else said, you know what? I can make it for a little less. I can make it for a little less. I can make it for a little less. And it goes throughout the populace. It goes throughout the culture, and then it gets cheaper and cheaper and cheaper to where now the calculator on your phone is 50 times more sophisticated than the original handheld Texas Instrument calculator that I had as a kid in like 1976, right? And it's free and it's on the phone. You couldn't pay for a calculator if you tried. You'd have to go find some fucking vintage fucking shit. So this is the point that Jeff Booth makes, is that the price of goods falls over time to its cost to produce. So why do things get more expensive? The reason why things get more expensive, in order to keep prices from going down, right, you have to pump up the money supply. You have to weaken the money so it takes more money to buy the same fucking thing. So the constant money printing is what drives us. And even the fucking DMT popping fucking MMA retards that watch the fucking Joe Rogan show or Joe Rogan podcast, even they have to hear some of this. Now, I don't know who that guy is, and I don't know ultimately what he said, but what that guy said, like here's them admitting that the entire economic system is a corrupt Ponzi scheme, right? Even the fucking potheads are hearing this. You know, the fucking mushroom fucking people, the people who want to get kicked, who think they're going to get kicked in the head for living and be a jiu-jitsu champion. Even those people are hearing our fucking message, not any other fucking message. So that's what's exciting to me, because I understand that the real world, your stomach, the fact that you have a roof over your fucking head. The reason why I went to work on my fucking day off is not because I really wanted to drive a box to fucking Virginia, but because I need the fucking fiat to pay my fucking rent and buy food, etc., etc. And that's what really drives human behavior. And that when we say fix the money, fix the world, we're not joking. Fix the money, fix the world. Because the part of the reason why the world is as fucked up as it is because of the fucking money. Because it is, it's just printed like this.
We print it digitally, so.
Whatever you say, that's it, Jerome. You know what I mean? I need 1 billion, Jerome. I need 14 billion. I need 100 billion. Bing, press the button, Jerome, press the button. And the rest of us slave away our entire fucking lives to slowly be fucking to once your economic value is fully extracted from you, then they toss you aside. What do I got? What else do I got? I got some video. What is this fucking video? I wish I would have labeled it. If I would have labeled it, I would know how to set up the clip better. Let me just run the clip, and I'll talk to you about it on the other side.
What do they need to know that you have found out?
Everything is decided by a quite small group of men who decide who will be an MP, who will be a minister, when that minister's career will crash by pulling various levers, who will be Prime Minister, and how long they will remain Prime Minister. And of course, Conservative Party voters and people who go to the ballot box think their vote matters. It doesn't matter at all, because this stuff is all pre-decided. Some of them are names, Michael Gove, Dominic Cummings. As I've said, Cummings is Gove and Gove is Cummings. They've worked together side by side for well over 20 years. Dougie Smith is, you will only find one photograph on the internet of Dougie Smith. He is right now at Rishi's right-hand side as his main advisor. This is a man who used to run the Fever sex parties, who has quite a notorious, well-known background. But you won't hear anybody talk about Dougie Smith. When I ask people about Dougie Smith, they would say to me, I don't want to talk about him, and put their hand over my phone.
What do they need?
All right, so I don't know who Dougie Smith is. I don't follow English politics, but it is shockingly like U.S. politics, right? One of the, that AIPAC makes that funds every member of Congress, makes every member of Congress sign various different loyalty pledges to the state of Israel. People say, oh, well, that's the Jew-SSA, right? The Jew-SSA. The Jew-SA. Well, England's been that way, and I did videos on William the Conqueror and Aaron of Lincolnshire. This has been going on since forever. The problem is the money, what people will do for money, and those in power, how they will commoditize their own fucking, literally their own population to maintain their lifestyle and their fucking dopey fucking degenerate shit. But the reality is, in a civilized world, in a world that is civilized, life has cost. This is, I know I've shown Prison Tube in the past, and I'm trying to avoid Prison Tube because I'm trying to avoid the negativity. But that goes along with Prison Tube, which, by the way, great time to ask the question, have you smashed up the like button? That is a question you should always be asking while engaged in listening to this show. But yeah, aside from prison tube, there's such a thing as farm tube. You're saying, what, James? What the fuck are you even talking about? Yes, there's such a thing as overweight farmers sitting with microphones and cameras with bales of hay behind them, talking about farm stuff and stuff that you're not going to hear. You're not going to hear on your regular network news broadcast.
I check on a guy, he's got a channel called Wrangle Star. He was talking about all the equipment that he has accumulated in his kind of off-grid living. He told the story of this journalist. In the 1800s, he spent a year or 6 months with a group of Finnish whalers. That was a very tough job. Rugged, cold, dangerous. They came into port after being at sea for however long, and they all get paid. This one whaler, old guy, grizzled, he promptly went to the general store and bought every pack of American cigarettes that they had. And they were very expensive. And the journalist asked him, of all the things that you could spend your hard-earned money on, why are you buying cigarettes? And he took the first pack of cigarettes and he opened it up. He lit a cigarette. He said, well, it's damn expensive being a man. I thought that was good. Life does not get any easier. People rely on you. As we go through life, we just add more burden to ourselves. Being a man is expensive.
Okay, so that's a little bit lighthearted, but people who have to do hard and difficult tasks to maintain their lifestyle, they pursue their pleasures without guilt and 100%. And if there isn't much you have to do to maintain your lifestyle, this is where people get lost and they don't know what they want and they can't figure out what they want to do or who they want to be or whatever. And that's because there is literally no struggle. There's no work involved in you receiving your pleasures, whatever your perceived pleasures are. So you get lost in some really dangerous stuff. And of course, we know there's some really, really, really powerful chemicals out there. Like I said, I was getting fucking advertisements. I'm still getting advertisements for like fucking psilocybin and all those mushrooms and all this shit. Once that damages your brain, microdosing LSD, once that damages your brain, that can't be undone. That can't be fixed. Doctors can heal. They can set a broken bone. They can do a bunch of shit to fix a lot of problems you have. But once your brain cells are shot from microdosing, to achieve spiritual whatever, the issue is not spiritual whatever. The issue is the fact that you are working exponentially harder for a currency that is getting weaker. The quality of your life is being reduced and you don't understand why. And no one is pointing directly to the problem, right? And everyone that's pointing to Donald Trump as a savior or the Biden or like, it doesn't matter who, like, no stranger is going to work hard or risk anything to make your life better. That just isn't going to happen. Maybe your blood family will, maybe they won't. But at the end of the day, you're going to have to make it worth someone else's while to improve your life. And that is a very uncomfortable position for a lot of people, because the very few at the top benefit from one, holding the middle down by using the bottom, like, holding down taxpayers by the welfare state, and the widespread welfare state of EBT and the people who rob Walmart and thug Americans, that the bankrupt cities and cause all this chaos. That's perfectly fine, because the people that live in the 1% of zip codes, they don't even see that. They don't see that. They don't watch TV and they don't see that anyway. You know what I mean? They'll just find a way after the whole thing falls apart to fucking loan money to the city of blankety blank to fucking fund the police department. and they'll make money off it. And that this has to be fixed. This has to be fixed once and for all. I said it last week, you know, never again to me, right, means never again will hundreds of millions or billions of people work and slave and do all sorts of fucking difficult and complex tasks for a fucking paper promise issued by someone who never worked a day in their life. That's my never again. And you could say, well, it's quixotic, this and that and the other. We'll see shortly, you know, and in short order, we will see what's going to happen. And I am super excited. I don't know, I don't think anybody really knows what's going to occur. But once enough people, whether they're Joe, and I'm not talking about the Joe Rogan podcast people, and I'm not talking about the people that have to ride the fucking New York City subway. Once enough people with real means and wealth figure out that this thing is going downhill and it can't be saved, then shit's going to get interesting. And I think that's going to happen in the next 2-3 years. Just like I smoke weed every day. I think you failed to put the sometimes vowel of Y, A-E-I-O-U, and sometimes Y is a vowel. Mr. Flychai, I don't know if you ran out of energy, you couldn't finish the word, or you just hit send or whatever. No, I'm teasing you. I'm teasing. I'm just busting balls. Happens to me all the time. I type something out and I realize there's like a fucking 6 in the middle of a word because my thumb hit this part of the screen and not that part of the screen. This is the way it is. This is the world of the internet. The internet contains with it some pitfalls, some obvious or not so obvious pitfalls that make you look like you said something you didn't say or you meant something you didn't mean. So we have to have a little bit of a little bit, cut people a little bit of slack, cut some slack. No, it's Russian. It is Russian. I used to know a dude named, what was his name? Constantine. Back in my hardcore motorcycle days. There's a Russian motorcycle club called the Bratva, which means the brothers. And anybody can be, as long as you're Russian, you can be in the motorcycle club. And it doesn't matter if you could ride a cruiser bike or a sport bike. It could be a Harley, it could be a Honda. They don't give a fuck as long as you're Russian. And this was like a big ass fucking club in New York City back in, at least it was in the early 2000s. And there was this fucking whacked out dude. All these fucking Russian dudes would come to Staten Island just for something to do, because that's what on summer nights where you're gonna go, and like you're in New York, you're not really gonna go for a long ride at night, but you want to go somewhere. So they would fucking ride to fucking Staten Island. There's some Russians on Staten Island. But and they would go to like what's called bike night, which is like it's like a hangout thing, usually at a Hooters or some pizzeria or whatever. Would have bike night, and all the motorcycle dudes would line up, and then the classic car guys, the hot rod guys, from the 60s and 70s, which was always led by the Corvette Club. They were like the king of all these bros. The Corvette Club would go there, and then all the Harley guys would go, and the sport bike kids would go, and blah, blah, blah. And it's a big hangout, and you walk up and down, and you look at each other's motorcycles and cars or whatever. And it's like, it's a cheap way to get out of the house, or was, at least in the 2000s. And meet up with people, like-minded people, talk some shit, and then go home. Like, there was no alcohol involved and no high risk involved. Nothing stupid ever really happened. But occasionally these fucking Russian dudes would come in. They were like 20, 30, 50, these fucking guys. And there was this crazy ass fucking motherfucker named, his name was Constantine. And I started talking to him, and he was like, this guy had the most fucking outrageous stories about going back to Russia and, they're sitting in a cafe in Moscow, and when he went there with his parents when he was 12, and now he's going back when he's like 22 or something like that. And him and his friends just have like coffee and cake, and the waitress gives him a check, and the check is so huge. He goes, "What bitch? What is this? Your phone number?" You know, and how things are so expensive and blah blah blah. And when he came to the U.S. and how he went crazy and he smoked a ton of weed, and he had to have a black girlfriend, and he was doing all this shit that was like all this forbidden stuff that was in Russia you couldn't do. But of course, he went crazy with that when he got to New York. And then eventually, I don't think he still had the black girlfriend. And he quit smoking weed, which is not a good idea to be in a high-powered two-wheeled machine and under the influence of THC. That is not a good idea generally. But fun guy, and because he would talk to me, all the other dudes at the Bratva would tolerate it. You know what I mean? Like they didn't, and everyone was like, it's funny because all these dopey fucking Staten Island Italian guys and fucking Irish bros, they're like, oh, you know the Russian mob? I'm like, they're not the fucking Russian mob. They're just fucking guys who ride motorcycles. They're just fucking. They have the same hobby as us, but they thought I was like I had some kind of like Russian mob connections or some stupid shit. Just because I'd just go and talk with people, and be friendly. But yeah. The point is, you can smoke weed every day. Please don't operate heavy machinery or any motorized machinery, or handle firearms, if you would please. That would be a good idea. Keep safety uppermost in your mind, Mr. Fly Chai. But at the end of the day, you have to understand that, and I've shown this guy before. I'm going to show you. I got one more clip. 47 seconds. It's that guy, Sean Ryan. I've mentioned if he's like a special forces bro. I think he used to be a Navy SEAL, and then he did the contractor bit for CIA, and he has it's hilarious to me watching these no holds barred conversations, which are like the most fucking tightly controlled, limited hangouts you could possibly engage in. I don't know what the fuck I do relative to these no holds barred conversations, but why should I be racist against Asian people? Well, it depends on, firstly, it depends on who you call Asian, right? There's all sorts of rejiggering of all these categories, right? Everyone from Turkey, Armenia, like fucking Azerbaijan and shit, they're all considered Asian. There's Central Asia, which is where Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, all the stands, Turkmenistan. Why should you be racist against them? Well, I don't know. Like, racism really, in a very real way, doesn't exist. Noticing that they behave differently than what you're accustomed to, yeah, that's not racist. You know what I mean? When someone says he means the Chinese eyes. Oh, what? Well, why should you be racist against Chinese people? Because they eat dogs and cats. And it isn't just that they eat dogs and cats. Some of them, I've seen fucking horrible videos where they cook the animals fucking alive. It's like, just kill the fucking thing. I understand. Listen, I understand that you don't have an economy where you grow calories, whether those calories are the plants that come out of the ground or the animals that eat the plants that come out of the ground. Like, you don't have an economy that's sufficiently developed where you can have whatever would be considered normal livestock, right? That things are really fucking bad, and you got to eat fucking dogs and cats, but you don't have to fucking torture them. I've seen like crazy shit where they'll keep the skin on the cat's fucking head and neck, and they'll just skin it otherwise, and then they'll cook it alive. It's like, fucking dude, what the fuck is wrong with you? Judas Fletchai, I don't care. I'm not sentimental about dogs and cats. I'm not even, it's not even the point of being sentimental about dogs and cats. It's about a quick, clean kill, right? To process the animal to consume it, right? You need the protein, you need the creatine, you need all that stuff. You know, there's no need to torture the fucking thing before you fucking eat it. Just quick and clean and be done with it, and then you consume the animal. That is my point. That would be the racist point that Westerners have against Asians. But I also understand that these people are mind-blowingly fucking poor. You know what I mean? That, and particularly under communism, I remember reading shit like where the Cambodians, in running from the fucking Khmer Rouge, would be living in the forest to be eating fucking spiders. Like they'd be trying to catch spiders and eat fucking spiders. Can you fucking imagine? You know? Judas Fletchai, I deleted the comment because I realized that the Asians are fucked up. Yes, could they be led to a better existence? Yeah, I think we all could. That's the point. That is the fucking point. It's true that some people are held down. Most people are held down by their fucking elites. And the way they do that is by controlling access to resources. You know what I mean? And so that's what we got to change. That is what we have to change. Judas Fletchai in the chat. There's a lot of people in those countries who still eat bugs and rats. Yeah, you know what? To be honest, if you offered them chicken and ribeye steak, I'm sure they would prefer to eat chicken and ribeye steak. I've mentioned this before on the channel. There's a not far from me, there's an Asian supermarket. I was an Asian, and there was this like little, I don't know, some kind of shrimpy little Asian chick woman. She's like my age, probably older even. And she's fucking, what the fuck was it was like $172 worth of groceries. It's like pre-marinated Korean beef strips and all kinds of shit. And I'm not paying attention. She inserts the card into the little card reader, right? And I'm like literally buying like one green pepper, one fucking the packet of fucking tomatoes, a fucking cucumber, a red onion, whatever the fuck. Like literally, that's all I'm fucking getting, or one of those quarts of fucking cherry tomatoes. This woman all by herself, she's spending like $178. I see it on the screen of the checkout girl. She sticks her card in, and then starts loading up her groceries, and the checkout girl says, "Oh, yeah, it's $6 more for something that's not covered." And I looked at the screen, and of the $178 of groceries she had, 172 was on EBT. And I stood there and I thought, I'm buying fucking $4 worth of fucking vegetables. This woman's buying fucking $200 worth of whatever the fuck she wants, and I'm paying for her fucking groceries. And that's why I'm living in a fucking 1-bedroom apartment in New Jersey, and she came over here fucking 6 months ago from fucking Swaziland, and I don't know if it's Chinky Land, Vietnam, the Philippines. I don't even give a fuck. The point is, she, by virtue of being non-white, gets to extract value that I don't get to extract. And she probably just got here a couple of years ago. And I've been working here my whole life. And does that piss me off? Yeah. Do I want to fucking burn it all down because of that? Yeah. You know what I mean? When you see the fucking urban youths, doing fucking reparation ceremonies in Target or fucking Walmart, to the point where Walmart has to hire, it's literally put a police station inside the fucking Walmart. You're thinking, yeah, I want this shit to stop. Okay. No one's going to fix this. There's no tinkering around the fucking edges that's going to make this fucking not be what it is. I want the whole thing to burn down peacefully and legally. peacefully and legally. I'm using burn down in a metaphorical sense. And I want to fucking reset, you know? And can I make that happen? I don't know if I can make that happen or not make it happen. But here's what I can do. When I get my payout from fucking driving the box down to fucking Virginia today, I can take that fiat that whatever I don't have to pay in taxes, gas, blah, 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 blah. I can take it and I can turn it into fucking Bitcoin, which is something they don't own and they don't control. And they cannot inflate away from me. So that to me is the most important thing I can do in my fucking life. And I think it's the most important thing you could do in your life. But this whole thing with the governments, with Exxon, with the fucking all of this shit around this magic internet money, I think people aren't seeing. I think none of us can see what's really what the future is going to look like in the next 2 to 5 years. But I think it's going to be like super shocking. I think it's going to be fucking super fucking shocking, and you know, ultimately, long run, things are going to get a lot better. You know, I really think things are going to get a lot better, but we're going to have to see how fast that happens. Anyway, with that, where am I? I'm at 1 hour and 6 minutes. Judas Fly Chai, all over the chat. The super participant. I should give you like a top fan fucking thing. I should say like top fan. I wonder if I could just do that. Could I just make one up right now? Can I make up a banner? Wait a minute. Let's see if I can do this. Edit. I want to see if I can. Oh yeah, look at this. Watch this. Look how clever I am. Now check this out. Judas Fly Chai, you win the Superfan Award. Look at that. The first person, you were literally the first person to win the Superfan Award. That is amazing. That is amazing. And amazingly enough, you are a member of the tribe. So everyone can complain how unfair that is. Anyway, with that, anyway. With that, Judas Fly Chai, everyone that's going to watch in the rerun, everybody that's going to watch in the coming week, thank you for stopping by, and I'll talk to you guys again next week.